If we need to make that change again this week, we can, but around the edge is away. They cover the outside. Chenault gets the step and the catch. We then bring the blitz as Stockton hits home to level this game up as it just opens up for him there. As we get this one out to Chenault, it's a second touchdown grab. This one. As we do get it out, it's Hubbard, breaks the tackle, he's got to sprint away, diving guy misses, Chuba Hubbard dives into the end zone, but they say no, it didn't. They're looking for his touchdown, and this one would be a lot easier for him. To the left, we send the blitz, and Hodgins will hit home. Here, a little bit more pressure, though. They actually dime that up pretty well, but it goes straight to Newsome. That's way too many catches as they find Cruz, his second touchdown of the day. And Young will run us to victory. And with that, we take the sole lead atop the NFC South. And coming off such an important win for us early on here, we now have sole custody of the first spot here in the NFC South. After we beat the Saints, they actually dropped down to third in our division, and we're facing a team today who has not done very well so far this year in the 1-5 Buccaneers. Now, this is a team that we played against in week 2 already this year, so a chance to have an early sweep. However, our offense did not do very well in that game. We only managed 9 points, all of which were field goals. However, our defense played phenomenally. Only gave up 7 points and 154 total yards. Meanwhile, our offense, we were closer to the 300. So it's clearly going to be a little bit of a struggle for us, or maybe we've learned our lesson. They did play their second-year quarterback in Aragon, and Bryce Young was shaken up a little bit in that game. But overall, we were able to do exactly what we needed to get the job done. We kept their receivers in check. However, we were wrecked in practice this week. So in our first game, having Chuba Hubbard as an X factor, he will not be out there as he suffered a shoulder strain in practice. We lost a backup offensive lineman in Bradley Bozeman with a dislocated shoulder. Luckily, that one is just going to take 1 week to heal. But we also lost Greg Newsome II with an ACL sprain, so he will be out this game. We had Clifton, who got injured a couple games ago. He is still missing. One, at least a little bit of luck for us, is we were not the only team wrecked from practice injuries. The Buccaneers have several really big injuries. Jameel Dean will be out with a back strain, and Rachaad White with a torn labrum. I don't remember if White suffered that in our game that we played against him earlier. However, Tristan Wirfs, I'm pretty sure, was shaken up at least at some point in that previous game, as well as Vita Vea. They will have Vita Vea to start. However, Tristan Wirfs, he is out with a broken finger, will be out for 2 more weeks. So we get a little bit lucky there. But with the Falcons and the Saints knocking on our doorstep, which the Falcons will be our next game following this one in week 9, following the week 8 bye, we've got to make sure we come out a whole lot more impactful than what we had in that first matchup. Now we're going to have to rely on some young, unproven running backs to try to step up. Might change the game plan a little bit, as Barry is back from injury. However, he's been injured in almost every single game. He's seen some playing time. There's also Ty Barlow, who hasn't done much with his opportunities this season. So we're going to need our receivers to step up. Chenault, Bateman, Mingo really needs to see an increase in his role with the team and actually do something with it. Tight ends just stay doing with what they do. Offensive line hold up better than what we've seen for most of the season, or at least in little bits of the season. And the defense, if they could do exactly what we were able to do in the last game, we should be just fine. But it's going to be an increased role here for Cash, as well as the corner that we ended up trading for in the offseason in Devontae Johnson. Cash will end up having to play outside corner in this game, and Johnson will have to go to the slot role, which he fits very well. The tackle rating is fantastic. On top of him, we've also made another change to a DB group. We've talked about it a little bit the last couple games, and we're pulling the trigger at this time, with Shepard going to get the start at free safety and Gardner Johnson moving over to strong safety. Brown has been benched. He could still come back out if this change doesn't work, but he's struggled in man coverage, and that's primarily what our strong safeties do. So All of these adjustments hopefully are going to help out, minimize the damage of us not having some of our key guys. But you can talk, you can plan, you can come up with all sorts of strategies all you want. But really, what comes down to it is the play on the field. So let's get to that play on the field as we meet another rival in Week 7. Top it all off, we got ourselves a rain game as we are underway. Cooks will take the knee in the end zone. The Buccaneers will head out at the 25 with their second-year quarterback who didn't do all too well in leading them into our previous matchup. And so far this season, he's sitting at about a 1-to-1 ratio of touchdowns to interceptions. If we could force some turnovers in this game, that could be huge, as St. Just will just knock that one away, intended for Evans. Now, obviously, we talked a good bit about Cash needing to step up in this game. So will St. Just, and he's had a pretty solid start, I would say, to this year, as well as he knocks that one away on 2 plays back-to-back. They've targeted Evans. St. Just winning that battle. Now we just need to make sure we get one more play in. 3rd and 10. They got 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Aragon from the shotgun, sitting back there. Pass rush working back, though. One blocker takes out 2 guys, but the second-year player throws it away. He should have stepped up, but the defense holds, and we'll get a 3 and out. So our defense essentially picks up right where they left off in the last matchup. If we could score 1 touchdown with our offense, it would already be an improvement. However, we're obviously missing some key guys as we had Barry getting a step on the man, but the hit timed well takes that pass away. And that's really the area that we need to see the offensive line step up. Just buy Young a little bit more time. Someone moved there first. Is it Vita Vea or is it Max Mitchell? This is going to be a false start. So Mitchell getting the start due to the injury to the rookie guard in Clifton. He's been a little bit hit or miss, and he's going to back us up 5, leaving us with 2nd and 15. As we go with the rollout throw, got Hayden Hurst coming across, but the athletics from Winfield Jr. swats it away. And honestly, looked like that should have been an easy throw, but dude jumped high. Leaves us with 3rd and long, 1st down at the opposite 49. We spread with 3 to the right, Bateman lone to the left. Need to get to the outside here. We do have Chenault placed out well for him. He will pick up the 1st down and a good bit more. Gain of 25 for Chenault Jr. And we talked about at the beginning, need these receivers to step up today. It's good to get Chenault going earlier. We stick with the same form here, though flip it. Mingo lone to the right. Chenault going onto the outside. They actually cover that one pretty well. Young trying to buy some time. Get it out and too far out in front for Barry. The guy has some decent speed for being a power back, but not the same kind of athletics that we're used to with Hubbard. As we go with a draw, Barry trying to buy some time, let block set up. Good run, picks up 5. However, still gonna need 5 more on 3rd down as we're at the 34. Would have been slightly cool if it was 35. We got 2 spread either side. Just need to pick up the 1st down. Here's Vita Vea. Destroyed Walker Little, will be a sack. Back at the 40, still in field goal range at least. And once again, Ford hit all of our points in the previous matchup. He will start us off today, nailing the long field goal, made it to that bottom right corner. And just as we saw with our defense's first time out, our offense also continues exactly where they left off. As we get the field goal, they then go with a run, opens up down the middle as we get a good hit there with Stockton, but it carries them forward for a gain of 14. Now in that previous matchup, we gave up a couple plays here and there, but overall, we didn't let things snowball as it's a pretty good run back to back there. Sheldon, I want to say, is a 2nd-year running back for him. However, very similar to a lot of our starting running backs today, or just running backs in general, not a very high overall, sitting in the upper 60s. As they go back to him, big hit there from Stockton. Finally a good play to answer from our defense, limiting it to a gain of 2. But as we've seen from our offensive line, and even from the Bucs, who do have a pretty good offensive line themselves, as long as they can open up space, they can make some things happen as Aragon finds Sheldon out the backfield. Stockton just got slipped on the wheel route there. Could have been a sack, instead a 1st down gain of 15. However, having said that or giving up that play, we've seen a little bit of pass rush already to open up this game, which is good. We had a good bit of that last week against the Saints, one of our better pass rushing days. Just need to see that continue as they go back to Sheldon. Good tackle there from Cash, gain of 5. However, Sheldon a little bit slow to get up after that play. They've gone his way quite often, but they're not giving him a break. They go with a play action to him. Open up, it is their tight end in Otten, but just a little bit too far out in front. And he was one that we did not see in the previous matchup as he was injured. Leaves them with a 3rd and 5. Wish to go with the draw down the middle. We met him close to, and they give him the first down on top of that. Stockton a little bit shaken up. Looks like a maybe ankle injury. He's going to have to leave the field, head to the locker room. Throughout his career so far, at least being his 2nd year, he's been pretty stable and staying out there. Pretty much his first big injury. It's a good thing we have so many linebackers, as it's a good run again from Sheldon. A hot start for him, 6 carries, 44 yards. And we'll see how much more they keep feeding him. Had 20 carries last week, around 75 yards. As we bring the heat here, it is thrown too far out in front again by Aragon. However, even if it was an accurate ball, would have needed to be very accurate, as it was tight coverage there from Cash. They have another 3rd and medium here at the 17, in which to go to the outside, and it's another errant throw. Aragon has started 1 of 7. We'll leave them with 4th down and a field goal unit headed out. So kind of clearly they need to rely more so on their running game. We need to try to take away that running game, as they will tie this one up 3-3. And as we head out for our next offensive possession, we do have some bad news in Stockton. He will not be returning to this game. The severity of that injury we'll have to see at the end. But as we do come out here, some good lead blocks. Gain of 4. Not bad for a first down run by Barry. And obviously with us not having Hubbard and the concern of injuries for him, we might need to see that running back spot rotate a good bit today. As we get this one out, it's a bad throw. Young has also not had a great start, 1 of 5. So clearly, while both teams should be used to heavy rains, it is seeing a good effect, as we have had, 3 completed passes today. Leaves us with 3rd and 6. We go with a run. Barry lowers the shoulder, powers through, and picks up the first. The original game plan for this was not to rely too much on the running backs due to their just lack of, let's say, ability, but time out there, their experience. But we might have to go there a little bit more. As we finally get our 2nd complete pass, we find Hayden Hurst. A solid gain, down to 41. And if we do struggle to complete some of our shorter, quicker passes, then yeah, we definitely have to go more to the run, but we'll try to air it out a little bit here. Send Barry out. We also have the drag route to Hurst, who does not hold on to it. It's through his hands. Jack Thompson in coverage, able to knock it away. So clearly the accuracy is going to be affected, as well as just the hands of the receivers. As we hand it off Barry, it's a gain of 1, leaving 3rd and 9 at the 40. But we'll keep with the 2 tight end, 2 receiver set. We got the receivers off to the right-hand side, Chenault and Likely both going on corners, a couple underneath stop routes, and that we will go to. Bateman gets lit up and the ball pops out. Luckily, it's not a fumble, field goal opportunity. This one, about a 57-yarder with heavy winds, 16 miles per hour going left to right. Can Ford nail this one, put us back in front? From the logo, right down the middle. He is fantastic. So as the Buccaneers head out, maybe got time for one more play here in this quarter. It's been actually a kind of long quarter considering how many running plays there have been, but also quite a few incomplete passes. As Grover Stewart, not good tackling there. Sheldon breaks free for a great gain up to about the 45, where we do end the first quarter. So for us, we've got a lot of things to clean up. The running game has been a problem. Passing game has been pretty good, though we've gotten bailed out with some bad passes. As go back to it, Cash got sucked to the inside as Sheldon heads down the sideline, down to the 31. He's averaging 10 yards a carry. Just from an overall standpoint for our defense throughout our time in this series, we've done it really well in stopping the run. Very much not so far today, as Owe takes him out via his head. But if we are going to see some good run defense in this game, we've got to see it from every level, outside, inside. Pretty good tackling from our corners as well, which we do have some pretty good tackling corners. To the outside, Cash nearly Barry gets the pick, but he knocks it away from Evans. We had a good few amount of games late on last year where we had to rely on Cash to play outside corner, and he didn't do fantastic. But so far in this one, he's done enough. Unfortunately for Johnson there, just got beat on the throw. And I'm pretty sure for the first time today, actually, they find one of their primary targets, that time going to Godwin. Gets them down to the 11, which they go to the outside and finding their tight end. Maybe a gain of 1, actually not tight end, Renfro. Completely forgot they actually have a very deep receiver group, including, I think everyone is about a 77 or higher overall, as Sheldon finds a little bit of some space, picking up 4, leaves them 3rd and 5 at the 6. However, they have only about half a yard prior to the goal line to get a fresh set of downs. They spread empty. Across the middle, they find Godwin. Cash beat that time on the quick slant. However, a little bit of good news for us. The Saints have lost this week, so they're not going to be right on our tails if we're not able to keep up here today, though obviously quite want to keep up. As Barry bounces it to the outside, he picks up 7. And if we can manage any more scores in this game, at least field goals or touchdowns, we would have outscored ourselves from the previous matchup. The Buccaneers have already outscored their total from the last time out, as that one is knocked away. Could have been much worse. You could tell that Young definitely felt the pressure coming from the left-hand side, just swung it out, but he should have probably went to one of the drag routes. Leaving us with a 3rd and 5. We got a quick out by Mingo. All in all, it's RPO dialed up. Shenault also a solid option, but we'll keep it with Mingo, or not Mingo, Barry, and he'll pick up the first down. Just got Mingo's name stuck in my head here because I'm waiting for him to really make a play this year. He's been absent for a good bit of these games. As we try to roll out, throw out, avoid the sack from Tryon Shoyinka. Now, obviously, when we have Hubbard, we include a lot more screen passes. Don't really have that ability with Barry, though he is a decent catcher if we could get him out in some space. However, no space as Tryon hits home this time. Ball is out, and Thompson will recover it. Setting them up at the 31. Need more from the offensive line, and Young, he's got to hold on to it. But for now, shifts over to the defense where we need them to hold strong here as they start at the 31. Will be a throw across the middle to Sheldon, picked up and dumped by Hartwell. We've been able to force a lot more turnovers this year than in the past couple, so if we could see one of those here, that would be fantastic. As there's a sack, fumble, Grover Stewart, ball is picked up by Castaneda, the rookie. Well, we talk about it and we make it happen. Stewart, who's given up a couple plays in this one, might have had our biggest one yet. Offense can head back out there, go a little bit of play action out the go here, as we have our guy just need to sit it in there for Thomas. A good throw, held on to up to the 40, or actually to the opposite 40. And that might help us start to open up a little bit more of the running lanes here with Barry not as shifty, more of that power style guy. We also just might need to scramble a little bit more with Young, who will pick up 9 and get down safely. And with that, down to the 31. So essentially in a couple plays there, we flip the field now with a better chance for ourselves to get on the board here. As we try to loft that one up, it gets picked. A great play by McCollum, who gets by Young, and the turnovers go in the favor of the Bucs as they will score off of it. Young try to get it down the field for Shenault. Just great athleticism by McCollum. And with that, score puts a lot more pressure on this offense to finally find a touchdown against the Bucs. As it's about 2.5 minutes left in the half, we could definitely use a big play. Bateman down the field, sliding catch to midfield. Let's get back to the line quickly here. Try to build off of that as we have maybe one more play here before the warning. We'll go with the halfback screen. Some blockers out in front. Just make sure we get those blocks. We do. Barry still up. We'll pick up 8. I will say he hasn't gone down easy in this one by any means. And we have all of our timeouts here, so we don't have to push things too far downfield if we don't have to. Shenault bumped in coverage, but he does get the catch by White. Not much of a catch and run, but it's still a big play for us as we have about 1.5 minutes. As we'll go back to the running game here, follow behind. Walker Little opens up for Barry, down to the 2. Just need to finish this drive strong, as we also need to make sure we're getting a solid double team there on Vita Vea. On top of that, yeah, sure, let's keep the mic where it is. Try to go with the inside zone here. Not much of a double team, but Barry gets into the end zone, and for the first time this season, we've gotten a touchdown on the Buccaneers. And considering that we still have a whole half to play, 48 seconds in this half, we are down 5 right now. I'd rather go for the 2-point here. Chenault on the zig, quick stop from Bateman. Both are solid options, or coming across too far out in front for Mingo. Will leave us down by 5. Sometimes you just gotta take those shots, hope it works out for them. But quite doesn't for us. 45 seconds left in this half as they will set up the halfback screen, blown up by Hodgins, knocks it out of the hands of Sheldon. Would love to see the combination of Hodgins and Hart will have a big impact, at least in the second half of this game. Not much from the first, as they have plenty of time and all their timeouts. A bump on the, actually I think it was the receiver, so a little bit of a pick play. Luckily goes in our favor. Could have and very well probably should have been a big play for them, as they did have Otten open. Leaves them with 3rd and 10. Otten in motion, they go for the cut back down the middle. Sheldon gets space to the outside. It's going to be a much bigger play than what we really needed to give up, which was nothing. And that takes away our opportunity for points before half. Still leaving the Bucs with that opportunity. They have 2 timeouts remaining, well inside field goal range. It'd be a great opportunity once again for us to get a turnover here. We managed one in this same area of the field last time, knocked away in coverages Johnson. All in all, I do have to say, despite missing and shaking up some of our DBs, I'm pretty happy with the play so far, especially with the level of talent as Castaneda gets in the face of Aragon. He's got to check it into the turf. Already seen Castaneda make a couple big plays in this one, at least get involved in a couple big plays. Leaves them with 3rd and 10. They got some guys coming across the middle, or a quick stop to the outside. A well-timed play from Cash. We've seen this time and time again this year. These referees just keep bailing out our opponents, giving them a free 1st and goal at the 8, as they chuck that one through the uprights. Perhaps Aragon there just with a little bit too much of some happy feet. Leaves him with 2nd and goal. Got some man coverage and another bad throw. He's 5 of 18. Now, not all of those incompletions have been on him. We've gotten a lot of knockouts in this game as well, but he's definitely missed quite a few throws. 3rd and goal, out of the back of the end zone. Defense will hold, will give up a field goal opportunity, 9 seconds left. However, even with them making this one, we'll still keep it a 1-score game, 8 points, as long as Fairburn hits it, and he will. And that is where we head into half, and really we're only down due to our own mistakes. Some sloppy turnovers in that half. We cleaned up the rush defense a good bit in that second quarter, most of those yards coming from the first. So I can't be too upset with the defense in that quarter. The offense definitely was the one that needs to step up. But as we look around the league, as mentioned, the Saints did lose with 2 interceptions from Schmidt. Wilson, just game manager, barely above 50% completion, but they pulled out the win for us. As for the Dallas Cowboys, they're playing against the Commanders, and they are up 21-10. Cowboys, as typical in here in Madden, they're doing pretty well this season. Lastly, we have the Giants playing the Packers, and it is a close battle there. 2 touchdowns for Inzerma for the Giants, only 1 for Lance, a new quarterback there for the Packers. But as we get going here in our second half, we start down 8, 20-12 against the Bucs, a team that we very much could use a win against, as Barry looks to bounce it. He got the stiff arm and then got rocked by White. And with this rain clearly affecting the passing game, don't want to get behind the chains too much, as we are behind now 2 after the loss of 2. Young trying to look to scramble, see if he could get to the outside, or dumps it off for Hurst, but it's through his hands. Definitely not the start to the half we were looking for. However, we have a 3rd and 12 here. No one is on Hurst. If we could get him right down the seam right away, as he breaks away from one, gets the stiff arm on another, and dragged down eventually at the 20. Let's try to build off of that one quickly, as Hayden Hurst has gotten some of those plays down the seams the last few weeks. Let's get out to the halfback screen, try to get a block downfield. Not much. Barry lowers the shoulder. will just inch out the first. And from there, we'll shake it up a little bit. Down to the 29. Got 2 spread to either side. Bateman going deep. Couple crosses, couple stop routes. As once again, we're having to get to the outside as Young just throws it away. They've done extremely well at containing us today. And on top of that, Young hasn't been deadly accurate as he's been at times this year. So let's try to go back to the running game here. Stick in front of the chains as we get out with Barry, who will pick up the first down. 6 yards a carry for him today. And on top of that, he's not backing down from White. A little bit of some pushing and shoving there at the end. Gives us a 1st and 10 at the 18. RPO dialed up, and we'll keep it. No, that's actually going to be a diving run from Young. Slide down next time, my dude. But apparently that's one of the RPOs that's actually a read option RPO. Good to know. As it's 2nd and 4, got another RPO dialed up here. And we will hand this one off. Barry will pick up the first down, take a shoulder as he crossed the line to gain. And obviously, as we talked so much about at the beginning of this game about rotating that running back spot, Barlow steps in for his first play, and it's in the 3rd quarter. Come out with a heavier look. Got our guy crossed in Jordan Thomas. Not going to get very much after the catch. So let's get back to the ball quickly here. Try to see if we can get another quick play. Maybe Bateman to the outside, depending on how they cover. Actually cover it pretty well. Let's roll out here. Try to get a block with Barlow. Not much of a block, but it works. Young able to scramble in. They finally don't contain us, and we're going to have to go for 2 here. Well, as I say that, we don't have to go for 2, but we will go for 2. A flat release from Hurst to the outside looks promising. Or maybe the switch over to Mingo, though they cover that one pretty well, but we find Mingo instead. We tie this game up, going with the slant instead of the flat, and Mingo finally gets a catch. So it ends up being a near perfect start for our offense. However, immediately following, we nearly give up a touchdown on the kick return. They start up at the 38. As we send a bit of a blitz, they get the ball out quickly to Godwin. I believe that's only his 2nd, maybe 3rd catch of the day. However, in those few receptions, he does have a touchdown. Leaving up with 2nd and 4 at the 31. As they go to Sheldon with some good lead blocks, it opens up again for him as he gets to the outside. Bad angles there from Sheldon. And on top of that, Britton Hartwell shaken up. Well, this game already panning out to be nearly the opposite of the first matchup, as it's going to be a high-scoring affair. Whatever defense can make the final big play might be the team that walks away with the win. But luckily for us, we still got a whole bunch of time left here. A little under about a 1/4 as we try to get a pass. How about down the field? We got Hayden Hurst, who had to dive out for it. It comes off his hands. That one looked like it should have been an easier catch for him, but it just kept getting to the outside. Leaves us 3rd and 7. As we bring out Ty Barlow, going with the halfback screen. Need to get to the outside, but we don't. Great tackle there from Thompson. And backed up at the 28, we're going to have to punt here. Defense has got to step up. And considering how much the wind actually affected that punt, they start at the 45, so we definitely need to see our defense have a big drive here. However, Godwin gets open after what definitely looked like a pick play to the outside. No flags, gain of a 1st down. But we can't blame too much of the weather affecting our performance, as we've seen it affect the Buccaneers as they switch things up here. 2 go to the left-hand side. They do go with another pass play as Oliver over pursues, but luckily always just sitting there. But as you could probably tell, with us having to bring in some of the backup linebackers, Hartwell will not be returning to this game as well. So Sidney Brown going to play a little bit of some nickel backer for us. See how well that works out as they pick up a gain of 7 there. To Tucker gets his first carry. And we have ourselves a 3rd and 3. Which to go a little bit of some play action. Gonna dump this one off. We've got a guy there. Breaks one tackle, over pursues, and they give him the first down. A mixture of some lucky spotting and some poor tackling for sure. As we have a couple plays left in this 3rd quarter, it opens up once again for Sheldon. He's come in today and dominated due to Rachaad White's injury. 200 rushing yards for Sheldon, over 200 total on the day. As we move to the 4th quarter, already down a touchdown. Defense got to make a play. And when they do, our offense has got to step up quickly. As they start with a run to the outside, Sheldon trying to bounce it. Just a gain of 1. I expect they go his way a good bit in this fourth quarter. Maybe see a little bit of some more rotation. As it opens up again for him, trucking through, it's another touchdown for the second-year running back. He's been phenomenal. But now is when we need our offense to be phenomenal as well. Now down 14 points. We've got to be quick and efficient. No turnovers. Let's get what we can. Out of bounds. We'll take that late bump there from White. We've seen some pretty bad penalty calls in this one. That one well-deserved, and one that we do finally get. Try to go with a little bit of some play action, all of it coming across. We do have Hayden Hurst going to pick up the first down and out of bounds down at the 27. I mean, at this point in the game, you've got to be used to the weather and have made your adjustments. We need efficiency from our offense. It's a good start for it. As Likely gets to the outside, ball placement is iffy, but he holds on to it. Despite the big hit, we're down to the 2. Try to see if we could go off of it. Actually, they line up pretty well against it. But we'll see if we could get a decent push here. Opens up down the middle. Barry is in for his second. Makes this one a one-touchdown game. Back over to the defense. And we've just got to find a way to tackle Sheldon. He's been nigh unstoppable today as they go with a throw. It's right across the middle, and Sidney Brown gets the pick. The guy we benched heading into this game gets an opportunity at a different spot due to injury and maybe just made the play of the game. Absolutely phenomenal. As we start at the 32, look for a little bit of some play action. Bateman deep, Hurst going to that right front pylon. If we throw it a little bit short and it goes too short, it's another pick. Back-to-back plays. Great adjustment from McCann, but the ball went too far downfield. Needed to cut that route more flat from Hurst. So just as we hype up Sidney Brown for making the play of the game, well, now maybe McCann has. As it's back to the Buccaneers offense. They get to the outside. It's a catch, but not much after as the hit comes in on Moore. And due to all the running lanes that have opened up, we've had to shift around our defense a little bit, running some schemes that are not quite what we are best at, but hopefully it ends up working out for us as they get it out to Sheldon. The juke, the truck, the first down. I'm definitely going to have to show you all his ratings at the end because he is not a highly rated guy, but he is going to work on us. As they get down the middle, we'll pick up 3. Clock ticking under 4.5 minutes here. We need a stop from our defense this drive. As they try to flood the right-hand side, it's a throwaway, leaving us with a 3rd and 7. They got a bunch to the right-hand side, 1 to the left. Just need another stop here. Pass rush, sack comes in by Owe. We'll get the ball back, and we need to find the tie. Honestly, part of me wonders if we should just game plan to get the tie and take up all the time left in this one. That might be a smart tactic as we start with Barlow down the middle. He just picks up 1. Again, we have not done tremendously well this second half in staying in front of the chains. We've typically, as that was hard to say, been playing from behind them as we just pick up another 3 there. Leaves us with 3rd and 6. Honestly, at this point, pretty much 4-down territory anyway. They got a bunch of guys to that left-hand side. Let's see if we could get it open. They actually send a blitz. Young on the move. Try to get it to his guy. Bateman shakes the tackle, spins off another and out of bounds as Darrell Taylor shaken up on the play. But that ends up being a great adjustment by Young. Scrambling, panicked a little bit, but it didn't end up hurting us too much as it has at a couple points throughout this game. As we're ticking closer and closer to the end here, 2.5 minutes left, actually a little bit under. So we stick with a 3 look to the left-hand side. Pass rush coming in, Young looks to scramble. We'll pick up just 2, leaving us with 3rd and 4. But we'll let the 2-minute mark hit. Let us catch our breath here for a pretty important down. Again, still 4-down territory, but we've got to be clean here. We need to end this drive with a touchdown. As we're at the 27. Need the first. It's nearly and does get picked. Intended for Likely. It's Neal this time. Turnovers continue to bury us. I mean, it was definitely a forced throw. That is for sure, but you just gotta hope that your guy makes the play or knocks it away. As they hand it off, Sheldon gets rocked in the backfield. First timeout called. I imagine they go with one more run here, considering how good Sheldon has been, then maybe play action on a third. It's 2nd and 13, right down the middle again. Oliver with the stop. Second timeout. 3rd and 16. And this is essentially for the game. As they got a few to the right-hand side, they actually go with a handoff. Sheldon will get stopped. We will not call a timeout there. We'll save it for the offense. But it all comes down to this. We start at the 37. A touchdown will be needed to tie, not even to win. Try to see if we could get Chenault to the outside, see how much they do protect the outside, as instead we have Mingo who drops it. That one was really put where it needed to be. Should have been a big play. You know, they're not protecting the outside all too much. Let's try to see if we could beat that here. Mingo getting between the corners, safety sitting towards the middle. Got the underneath option if we need it, which will dump this one off for Barry. Get a couple yards out of bounds, 3rd and 6. Obviously, sitting in 4-down territory, needing the touchdown here late. We got 3 to the left-hand side, Hurst to the right-hand side. Chenault on the stop might be a good option, though they sit underneath that. We're just going to have to pick up the first down here with Young. Sliding down, get back to the line quickly with only 1 timeout remaining. Don't want to waste it. See if we can get Chenault on the switch. Bateman going towards the middle. As pass rush gets home, just got to chuck it away. 27 seconds left. Do have to give some props to the Buccaneers. They've played extremely well today. We're going to leave Barry back here to protect. We got to get down the field. Need that touchdown. Out to Chenault. The ball comes up a little flat, but he makes the adjustment. Got to call our last timeout there. For the 1st and 10, we're at the 32. And now they finally switch to a too-high safety. Well, then let's also send Chenault downfield as well. Got Bateman to the right-hand side, so we're switching things up a little bit, essentially trying to take Mingo out of some key spots. Look for a back shoulder to Chenault, who gets the catch. No, he gets rocked. Honestly, I'm okay with that. It actually saves us. And the times we have remaining, really, it's got to be shots for the end zone here. 16 seconds. If we get tackled in bounds, that just might be it. As they send a little bit of a blitz, we get it out, but it's not going to get anywhere close to the receivers. The offensive line has definitely not held up well to the pass rush today. Still a single high safety, Bateman to the left. See if Barry can leak out as well. We've got options. Look for our guy, back shoulder, throw, it's caught! We tie the game up on the back shoulder to Rashad Bateman. Props to the Buccaneers defense. They made us work for that one, and we're still not done. We need this PAT with 7 seconds left. It is Ford, the most clutch kicker in the NFL, as that looked like that was going to go left right off the toe. But it's good. We just got 7 seconds left. And you never know with Madden, so let's stick in. Let's watch a little bit here, even the kickoff, just to make sure there are no shenanigans. As it's popped up, we're going to force them to return this one. Just need some tackles. Good hit there. 3 seconds left. Prevent defense. Just make the play. As it actually looks like they're going to run this one. Either way, we're going to stay back. Imagine they hand this one off to Sheldon. A little bit of a counter to the opposite side. Tackle comes in. And to overtime we go. 34-34 at the end of regulation. We are not done. But who's going to get the ball to start this half? That could really be a deciding factor. However, Madden is giving us a black screen, so that's fantastic. And unfortunately, we are going to have to exit out of the game here. Hopefully, it's caught up and we start in overtime, because I can't do anything here. And surprisingly, it actually worked. It kept us to where we were. And we won the coin flip. So we start on offense with a touchdown to win the game. Okay, man, at least you broke, but you still kind of fixed yourself-ish. We start at the 24. The offense will head out. Just adds to what kind of crazy of a game this has already been. But also, I do think that's kind of changed things a little bit. Everyone was full on stamina fatigue levels, so who knows how this is going to end up panning out. But I feel like we need to go a little bit more run heavy in this one. Because if we're being honest, Barry actually had a pretty good game today. Not as good, obviously, as our opponent's running back. He was phenomenal in Sheldon. But Barry will pick up the first down. We're up to the 38. Keep this steady moving. Plus, on top of that, probably need to change up the looks a little bit as well. Switch to a tighter shotgun look. Right down the middle, Barry will keep those legs moving. Powers forward. First down to the opposite 40. Actually, no, still in our territory, the 49. But either way, a tremendous run there. Should have been a gain of 3-4 max. Turned it into a gain of about 11-12. As we go right back to him, open down the middle, another solid gain. Now to the opposite side at the 40. Now with all those runs, as we do bring out Barlow here, have we sucked down some blitzes maybe perhaps? Then get a little screen over the top. Barlow picking up the first down to the 25. This might be, knock on wood, cross your fingers, the cleanest offensive drive we've had. And honestly, I'm not going to pass the ball if we don't have to. Running game has worked to this point. See if that can continue to be the case as Barlow on the draw will pick up 9. We obviously ended up not going as run heavy throughout this game, primarily still sticking to the passes we were chasing. But now they're kind of the ones chasing as Barry picks up the first down to the 13. And even though he is very much a power back, he's got some speed to his game. So let's get Callaway motioned out here. Try to get it tossed to the outside, see if we could seal an edge, which we did a pretty good job. He's down to around the 5, marked out at the 4. And here's where I'm considering doing something maybe a little bit more risky. We haven't ran it today. 2nd and 1. We will go with a read option, but Vita Vea knocked it out. Are you kidding me? Tryon Shoyinka picks it up. We give the ball one play to Young, and he might have just cost us the game. No booth review has come in, and obviously we can't challenge here at this point in the game. Great stop there comes in. It's Oliver. Should have been a touchdown to finish it off here. But now the Buccaneers have that opportunity, though for them it's easier. They just need the field goal. As they go the throw to the outside, Brown with a quick tackle. No gain, 3rd and 11. If we can get the stop here defensively, we know Ford can hit. He's been phenomenal for us this year, and he could hit from distance as well. They check this one down. That could have been a pick 6, but ball hits turf, will be a punt. And as we start this drive, we've hit field goals from close to this range. A first down will definitely put us in range. However, a great play there from Thompson. Play one, it's a loss of 3. This game today, an absolutely fantastic one for a rivalry. 34-34 as we close into 2 minutes left here. In the overtime, we find Hayden Hurst. First down at the 28. And honestly, I think we just send out the field goal unit from here. Ford to hopefully finally end this game. They will try to ice him, but he's got ice in his veins. It's a 45-yarder, essentially a chip shot for the man. As the snap is back, hold down, kick is up. There's the win. We had to fight and fight through this game. A little bit of some Madden weirdness mixed in. But we will sweep the Buccaneers. Ford with the game-winning field goal. We did it. We can finally breathe a little bit there at the end. All in all, a terrific rivalry game. We played very sloppily. They played sloppily as well. Young was not our leader today. In fact, I honestly think that Bryce Young was more like the not even anti-hero, but like the villain, really, of this game. He threw for 328 yards in the rain, but he had a 55.5 QB rating. Still better than Aragon, but so many turnovers. His completion percentage was at a 50, and on top of that, he also had 2 fumbles. He did have a rushing touchdown, so he was well involved in this one. Just, he didn't, I think, help us, which was the big difference. Where I think we really saw some great play was Brian Barry. When he was given the chances, he was fantastic, and we probably should have given him more looks today, though. More, he did have 20 carries. Obviously, the defense struggled massively against Jamie Sheldon. We will take a look at him before we finish. But I mean, we had some guys step up. Hayden Hurst had a couple big plays. Bateman had a couple big catches. Chenault got us started earlier on with some big plays. But yeah, all in all, I think there was some good from this game. There was definitely some bad from this game. We locked down, though, Mike Evans. Not a single catch on, it was 5 to 6 targets. Completely locked down. And that was a multitude of different guys covering him, Cash as well as St. Juice. Those two, I think, did step up. We did give up some plays to Chris Godwin. 5 catches, 47 yards, and a touchdown. I'll take that for sure. We did pretty well against the tight ends as well. So we just struggled massively against Sheldon. And defensive-wise, they definitely, a phenomenal defense with the Buccaneers. They were flying around, though. Some of their guys are definitely on the older side. As for our guys individually, let's try to give a little bit of props where props are due. Jermaine Oliver had to step in due to injuries. He had 2 tackles for a loss in that game. Did really well, again, with opportunities given as a UDFA rookie currently. Hodgins did all right as well. Sidney Brown made some big plays, including the pick. Definitely wouldn't have won that game without that. Stewart, he gave up some plays. He made some plays. Owe, kind of similar. They were the only 2 guys to get sacks for us in this one. But honestly, I think, once again, we got to lean a little bit on Cole Ford. He came through time and time again, another 3 field goals. Without him, we definitely don't win that game. I don't trust Young to get us down there to find that winner. Though that being said, the win did come at a pretty good cost, as we'll be without Earl Stockton and Britton Hartwell for the next 3 games. Stockton did dislocate his ankle and Hartwell tore his labrum. So we're going to be back to Hodgins and then Oliver as the UDFA, and maybe we stick with Sidney Brown, playing a little bit of that nickel backer. He did pretty decent, I would say, in that role, so we'll see how well that works moving forward. But to wrap up today's game, Sheldon, he actually saw some boosts, some major boosts from that game. Going into it, he was a 69 overall, so he went up 2 overalls just from that game. He's a normal dev, second-year running back out of Army, and he was phenomenal. Breaking tackles left and right, despite it being a 74 true, but actually with some morale or something happening there, it's actually down to a 73. He doesn't have dominant moves at all. He's got great change of direction at a 90. Pretty solid hands as well. Injury, all looks really solid. So he's a decent back. He's got some speed to his game, just not much power. But he played phenomenal in this game. And who knows, if he ever becomes available, maybe we pick up a Jamie Sheldon. But that is where we are going to leave off as we are in week 8. Got the scouting national focus and things to take care of. So I'm not going to move to week 9 yet. But it will be against the Falcons, who are sitting a game and a half behind us, though they'll probably catch up with that bye week we are about to have. So that Falcons game next episode is going to be really big for, again, solidifying our spot atop the NFC South. We nearly gave it up to the bottom team in our division today. They came ready to play. Young's got to improve. Apparently rain games are going to be a problem for us. Luckily for us, we haven't had too many home rain games, and that's what we're going to have next time, a home game. So make sure you stick around, hit that bell icon on the bottom right, or scroll down, hit that sub button if you have not already. This series out every single Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Plus, we have the new Bama State-Only Challenge every Wednesday and Saturday. So make sure you tick that bell icon so you're notified of when all those videos go out. Plus, we got all the shorts. We got things popping up on the community tab all the time as well. So stay tuned for those, especially when it's actually voting days for those state-only challenges. But we got so much more coming. It was a nerve-wracking game, but we ended up being victorious at a cost. Hopefully, we bounce back and have a cleaner game next time against the Falcons.